advising the PMI board. So today's agenda, the first part of it is why we need an ethics code. So I'm going to play a video. It looks
like wise. Maybe I'll copy an assignment, then cheat on a test. Then maybe I'll lie on my resume to get my first job. You gotta start small and build your way up. I'll keep rationalizing and pushing the limits. You won't know what I'll lie about. In 20 years, I could be flying your plane or managing your pension. Will it matter if I don't think lying is a big deal? The thing is, adults in my life forget that I'm watching their every step. Look out for number one, right?
Thank you. Well, let's take a look at our own example. Let me quote from Ramalinga Raju. It is, like, in a way, it's like riding a tiger. So what they started as a marginal gap between the actual operating profit, and one reflected in the books of accounts continued to grow over the years, and it finally it's like riding a tiger, not knowing when to get off without being eaten. So from the from the CIAC perspective, well, we have around over 10 million practicing project managers all around the world. From CIAC, we are primarily accountable for all the PMI members, all the PMP certificates, and all the practitioners which is attached to the PMI. Well, if you look at it, the project management it's a profession, and its recognition is based on the hallmarks of the project management profession. It is standards, it is certification, and the code of ethics, and the adherence to the ethics code, it is non-negotiable. And why we need what is an ethics? So it's the common themes are expressing the value. It's commonly held as an important to the community, for organization or team. It gives the value guide and the behavior for the community. It sets the value as a value guide for the society. Ethics holds the community as a community together and allow it to function on the level of trust. As I mentioned, the world, today's modern economy is depending on the trust. The trust builds the creditworthiness of the society. It is the foundation of the modern society. So let's look at why the organization needs, why ethics standards need for the organization. It creates the trust between the relationships at work. Unless and if we don't trust each other, if we don't trust our project managers, naturally, it's without the relationship, we can't work as a team. And it creates an environment of responsibility, respect, honesty, and fairness in which people will work together to reach the common goal. So without the ethics, we cannot build the trust. And without the trust, we cannot build a successful team which leads to the successful project. So if you take a look at it, it's a cartoon from there. So let's see the consequences of the cut in the corporate ethics and the short-term profits where it is going to lead. So I'm going to quote from the Warren Buffett. When the tide goes down, well, we already experienced since for the past couple of years, which are all the organizations really swimming naked, where all the skeletons are in the closets are exposed. And why we need ethics standard for an organization, professional organization like Project Management Institute. So we need to distinguish the profession. For example, the Indian Medical Association, they have their own code of ethics. And because of that code of ethics in Indian Medical Association, this is another article which I happened to see in yesterday's paper. It happened to be inside, but I felt it is a very relevant article. Indian Medical Association's president is barred from the medical practice for 6 months. And along with the president, they let go 187 other executives when they misused the logo of Indian Medical Association. So unless we distinguish, we bring the trust to the profession, so our management is not going to, first of all, team is not going to, we cannot build the team spirit within the team. We cannot build the trust within the organization. We cannot build the trust with our vendors or with our clients. The second aspect is establishing the common understanding of professional obligations to the stakeholders, and create the trust with the stakeholders. Unless we build this trust with our stakeholders, we will not be able to successful as a team, will not be successful in our projects or even in our personal life. So we're going to take a look at it, the features of PMI's code of ethics and the professional conduct. And the PMI's code of conduct is built by the members like you and me. So back in, I think, early 2000, we started with the survey. I'm going to get into that one later. And it's the language is code of ethics. And if you look at many organizations, especially in our own organizations, the code of ethics has a legalistic language to that. But in PMI's code of ethics, it is not legalistic or it's not a colloquial. It is simple and straightforward, and it's a realistic, and it's for our anywhere people from members from anywhere in the world. And it is not culturally sensitive. It is adaptable to any environment, whether it is from North American perspective or the Asian perspective or even African perspective. It can be adaptable in any environment. It's again not non-Euro, or it's not from European or not from the Western, from the Western perspective. It's from the global perspective. It has 4 values: the responsibility, respect, fairness, and honesty. I'm going to get into the details of each of these 4 values. It is one code for the whole organization. It addresses certain portions, based on the specific need. Otherwise, it's a one code for all PMI members, and it is for all the PMP certificate applicants, even for the PMP certificate holders, and even it is valid for all the PMI members. And the frameworks of PMI Code of Ethics, it consists of the values. As I mentioned, it has 4 different values: responsibility, respect, fairness, and honesty. And the framework covers the definition of the values. I'm going to get into the details in the coming slides. And it has both mandatory and the aspirational conducts. First, the first value is about the responsibility. In summary, responsibility says, we need to take the ownership of our own decisions. We need to act in the best interest of the society, public safety, and the environment as a whole. And it has a mandatory standard of informing ourselves about the policies, rules, regulations, and the laws. Let's take a look at another. And the second value is about the respect. The respect, it has again aspirational standards and the mandatory standards. The aspirational standards where we need to look at aim at achieving it. The mandatory standards are non-negotiable standards. The aspirational standards including the informing ourselves about the norms and the customs of others, listen others' point of view and seeking to understand them, approaching directly those persons with whom we have conflict of interest and disagreement, settling our disagreement over a cup of beer, or addressing first ourselves, and conducting in a professional manner. Well, you can see the importance of respect. The next standard is about the fairness. The fairness is it's our duty to act impartially and objectively. Unless we create a fair environment, naturally we will not be able to build a long friendship with our team. We need to cultivate the team to have a successful project. And it has again the aspirational standards and the mandatory standards. I'm not going to get into the details of, well, the next value is the honesty. It is our duty to understand the truth, nothing but the truth. We need to act we always need to seek to understand the truth. We need to act always in a truthful, in our communication and in our conduct. We need to provide accurate information in a timely manner. So I'll let you get into the details of both the mandatory and the aspirational standards. Well, so let's look at what is in for us. So these scenarios, we need to look at the code of ethics as a PMI member. So unless we act in an ethical manner, naturally we don't get we are putting the organization itself in a tough spot. We need to, being many of us are the leaders within our project team or within our community or within our environment. So if we act in an ethical manner, we will not get the trust from our team members. We will not be able to lead a successful team. And especially as a project manager, so the trust and the ethics is the cornerstone of our success in our team, or even among our stakeholders, or even within the organization. Well, as per Abraham Lincoln, you cannot escape from the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. I assume many of those, especially those who took the PMP certification, heard familiar with Rita Mulcahy's book, and I assume, hope you might have heard that she recently passed away. after battling with the cancer, or she recently passed away. This is her, in her training program, she used to use this, the project manager's wow. I will help to pull everyone's need together and plan this project to see if project objectives can be met. I will adjust the stakeholders' expectation in the project plan so they are realistic and achievable. Then I will ensure a common understanding, take corrective actions, and keep everyone focused to keep the project on track. Or I will fire myself. This is an ideal vow we can take in our environment. So if you need more resources about the Code of Ethics, you can always approach Gabe. He's the chair of Code of Ethics. He can give you he'll be able to guide you through our CIAC team to the right people. And of course, your local component, your local chapter can help you on addressing some of the ethical issues. The local chapters can get the support from the component mentors. There is a website, there is a new community form, Ethics in Project Management Community. You can always take a look at it, the website, and as you know, till end of this year, or it's a free. You can, as a PMI member, you can join the community for free. And of course, you can. This is a website in the PMI Code of Ethics website. If you follow the links, you can get into the PMI Code of Ethics. He said that I got 2 more minutes to go, and I invite any questions you may have. Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, please.
This Code of Ethics.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a redressal system in case someone has a complaint, or the redressal system? Do you have something?
Well, there is an ethics review if you go back and look at this, the PMI website, and especially the last link, you can, if you have any issues to or address, anything, you can. There is it's a link where you can submit your issues. Then ethics. There is another committee called Ethics Review Committee. They will address the issue.
Do you have any statistics on this at the US level? In terms of how many, what is the redressal system, how many have you handled it, and what is the recurrence of this?
I'm not sure whether. Typically, these are the confidential, and it's a very sensitive information. So they don't. Based on my understanding, the Ethics Review Committee, they don't publish the cases. They may. I can find out. Like if you want to know the statistics, I may be able to find out. But the Ethics Review Committee, they're addressing various issues all around the world, and especially in the past couple of years, they're getting a lot of opportunities to address issues all around the world. But if you have, maybe as a best practice, before addressing taking it to the Ethics Review Committee, when you're taking it to the Ethics Review Committee, it's a very serious issue. You need to, first, what I may suggest, first you may try to address within your team itself, maybe it's better to go and speak directly with the person with you or whomever have the conflict. Try to address first within yourself, then if you can't settle it, try to involve your chapter level also. They may be able to help you to address some of the issues. As a last resort, only I advise you to go to the Ethics Review Committee. When it goes to that level, you need to look at, the PMI takes it very seriously, and you need to look from all the angles. Please.
I have a question. We started with the video of the child, and we all know that children need role models and not critics. So we cannot tell them not to do this and not to do that. And what they need is role models. And if you look at the current situation in our country, we lie low on the corruption index, or we are high on the corruption index, whichever way you want to put it. So we as a community, where do you find the role models in the civic society which can give me the encouragement to the children? Your thoughts on that?
Say the question is where we can find the role model. Well, Mahatma Gandhi is quoted as the role model all around the world.
What I mean to say is in the current society. Yeah, history would have a lot of examples. It's like telling a fairy tale to the child, right?
There are a couple of cases where I've seen the role models. For example, the Ratan Tata or Azim Premji. These are the leaders quoted all around the world. In a way, from that perspective, India is really shining, but there are a couple of scars. Hopefully, we will be able to take our role models and address some of those.
I have a question here. Excuse me.
Thank you.
Yeah. My question is, since PMI is recognized across the globe and a lot of us follow the ethics, I somehow feel that one side following ethics will not work out all the times. So especially when we take out the...
I'm sorry, can you please?
Especially when we take out the conditions within our country where wherever you look at there is corruption or unethical moves going on, can I expect some internal group within PMI who would help us fight against these unethical moves? Not just internal to the PMI committee, but externals also. Because I met a team of anti-corruption team in Chennai. What they did is they were a non-profit organization. You go with a case, they go ahead and fight against the government for unethical moves. Can we have something like that internal where I can approach within PMI and then get it resolved? Is that possible?
First of all, this ethics, it's more of a guideline. It's not really a rule. Then the areas where we can address, especially the ethics community which we are forming, there we will be able to address some of those issues. And not addressing the issues, you can find, you can discuss various hypothetical cases where you'll be able to give some sort of guidance, within the community itself. And then always, there are so many case studies done. There are so many articles published in the PMI Today and PMI Network, and you can always rely on your the component leaders, the chapter leaders. They can give you the advice. And again, as a last resort, again, PMI Ethics Review Committee. You can approach them, unless if you're not able to solve the issue within your own environment. That's it.
Thank you.
Saji, this is Ravi. You were quoting a couple of stories in the beginning of your speech. In the changed economic situation, can you quote any of the new aspects which you would have come up as part of the ethics committee?
I'm sorry, in the changing environment?
Do you remember of any particular aspect which you would have identified to be included in the code of ethics as part of your group?
Well, again, the ethics, we don't, it's a guideline. We don't address the specific, it's not a rule of law. It gives a high-level guidelines, and we believe it's very much valid in any environment, especially in today's economic environment where all the skeletons, as Warren Buffett mentioned, all the naked people are getting exposed. So especially in the code of ethics, it is very much valid in giving the guideline, especially in today's environment, economic environment, where the naked bodies are getting exposed. Yeah. And PMI takes a look at it. I think every 3 years they revisit the code of ethics. I think the next revisit, I think next year or in a couple of years, it's coming up. So, and the whole PMI code of ethics was initially introduced in 2008. It's going to be, I think, by next year, we may be revisiting the code of ethics, and we'll be fine-tuning it. Yeah. Thank you.